Welcome everyone, and thanks for joining us for today's episode of Canal Days. As always, I am your host Carrie, here with my co-host, founder of Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Camus. Our Canal Days series delves into the vast collection of historic sites throughout Massachusetts, with Robert's expertise of the local history as our personal guide. Each episode, we uncover history throughout local communities, highlighting the historic landmarks and uncovering their seminal significance. Today's episode of Canal Days will be discussing and learning about the All Saints Church located in Ware, Massachusetts. So, review the early history of the church.
Yes, that has another name to it. And when it was born, it was called the St. William's Church. And that St. William's Church wasn't even at this location. It was built in 1853 on West Street. And even at the parish, which is the group of people that want to form the church, started 3 years earlier than that, 1850, in a house. Right? So 1853, they had a wooden structure on that street. And later, they would become under another name, but even when they moved more towards the downtown area, they would keep that St. William's name. And they would move here in 1894. It took 6 years to build, so they actually started in 1888, started to build at this location. So keep that in mind, and today we're going to talk about not only the church, but also the architecture, the rectory, and some of the other Catholic churches and where in a comparison and contrast.
And describe the church's architecture.
The style is high Victorian Gothic, and you can tell that by the extremely high church, and the windows are pointed, so it's the Gothic style. And it was designed by a man from Boston who was the official architect of Catholic churches out in the Boston area. His name was Patrick Ford. And this beautiful church also has next to it a rectory, which you'll talk in the next question. But at some point, the church was combined with the Mount Carmel Church, which was taken down, and they went under the new name of All Saints Parish, and it would be held at this one, St. William's, at 17 North Street. So there's a nice website, warecatholic.org, W-A-R-E, and it tells you about this new church combined, and it also tells you about the different groups and the history, so forth and so on.
And stick around and we'll be right back after this quick announcement. Are you fascinated by local history and eager to investigate the obscure treasures off the beaten path throughout the state of Massachusetts? Or maybe just seeking an unforgettable cultural activity for family and friends to enjoy? Look no further than Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke. It's founded by Robert Camus. With over a decade of experience, Robert offers captivating tours and presentations of historic sites and landmarks throughout the state. Whether you're interested in canals, cemeteries, charming churches, or more, Robert's tours provide a unique and enriching experience for all. And that's not it. You can also schedule private tours tailored to your interests, ensuring a personalized adventure and unforgettable memories. Perfect for families or groups of all sizes, making for an exciting hands-on learning experience that brings history to life. Simply visit holyokecanaltour.org or email bobcat4214, capital B, at yahoo.com to book your private tour today. So, getting back to our episode on the All Saints Church in Ware, Massachusetts, detail the rectory of the church.
This was made in 1891, a year before St. William's Church was ready to be used, and it was in the colonial revival style. Now, when the churches were blended together, the Carmel and this one, then the rectory wasn't needed anymore here, and they share it now with the St. Mary's, and they have a very old Victorian home out there that they use. This beautiful rectory complements very well the church, and if you look from the front of the church, the very tall, heavy spire with the belfry is off towards the left, and then a smaller one towards the right. And so having the rectory off towards the right gives a lot of the weight of the architectural value towards the right, and that's what they want. A big high thing on the left, and then some weight towards the right-hand side. So they both look good together.
And educate us on the Catholic churches of Ware.
Well, there's a lot of Catholic churches around the area. Almost all of them used the Neo-Gothic look. There's the Old Saints Church that we've been talking about. There's a St. Mary's Church from 1906. So that's the last one to come around. There was a St. William's Catholic Church. There also was an Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church, which was only about 100 yards away from this one, at 51 Pleasant Street. Now that has a parish and a church were made in 1871, 1872 on Bank Street, and they got a school, a rectory further away. Right. And that one had a revived church built for itself in 1923. So it's sad that the last one built of the three Catholic churches is the one they ended up taking down. They took it down in the year 2013. And it was the most beautiful of all. And it blended in with this one that we're talking about today. And I guess you could say that you kept the two downtown ones together. And then the ones a few streets away, that's the Polish ethnic group one. And the Polish churches tend to be the ones that are heavily visited compared to the Irish and the French Canadians ones. So all these are very beautiful churches, and I'll try to get as many pictures as I can of the Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church so you can see what it used to look like.
And thank you for joining us on our journey through the rich history of the Connecticut River Valley and tuning into our episode of the All Saints Church in Ware, Massachusetts. We hope you enjoyed uncovering some of the hidden and overlooked marvels and their fascinating stories that shaped our past in the state of Massachusetts. A special thanks to Robert Camus, founder of Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, for sharing his passion and expertise with us. Remember, you can find more information about Robert's tours, book private tours, and explore the Canal Days video and podcast series at holyokecanaltour.org. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, comment, and share. We'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions for future episodes. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to tune into our next episode of Canal Days,